You don't join the Russian Mafia. You get noticed by it. There's no application, no interview, no contract. Just a moment. One ordinary moment where your life quietly splits into two versions. The version where you walked away and the version you're about to live. This isn't a story about guns and money. This is a story about rules. Rules that were never written down. Rules that were never spoken aloud. Rules that you will only learn by breaking them. Every level you cross tonight is a level that cannot be uncrossed. Pay attention, because the first rule of this world is the most dangerous one of all. You already know too much to leave. Level 1. The Errand Boy. It starts with a favor. That's always how it starts. You're 22 years old, living in a 2-room apartment in Brighton Beach, Brooklyn. The radiator doesn't work. The rent is 3 weeks late. Your neighbor, Dmitri, is a quiet man. Expensive watch, old shoes. He never talks too much. You've respected that. One Tuesday, he knocks. He doesn't ask how you are. He doesn't come inside. He hands you a paper bag and says 3 words. Deliver this tonight. An address in Sheepshead Bay, a restaurant called Zvezda. Ask for Pavel, give him the bag. Come straight back. That's it. You don't open the bag. Smart. You deliver it. Pavel takes it without looking at you, hands you an envelope. Inside, $500, cash. You did nothing illegal. You carried a bag. You don't know what was in it. You can still walk away. But you don't walk away, because $500 felt like $5,000, and Dmitri is already smiling when you get home. Good, he says. Same time next week. The first rule you've already broken without knowing it. Never do a favor twice. Level 2. The name you don't Google. 3 months in, and the errands become a routine. Different bags, different restaurants, different envelopes. The money gets better. $800, $1,200, once $2,000 for a single night. You stop asking questions. That itself is noticed. Then one evening, Dmitri sits across from you at his kitchen table. He pours 2 glasses of vodka. He doesn't toast. He says a name. Volkov. He doesn't explain who Volkov is. He doesn't need to. You've heard the name before. In a conversation that stopped the moment you entered the room. In a phone call Dmitri ended with his back turned. In the way the men at Zvezda straighten up slightly whenever someone mentions it. Dmitri tells you that Volkov wants to meet you. Not to recruit you, not yet. Just to see you. You go. A private room above a restaurant in Midtown. Mahogany walls, cigarette smoke. 3 men standing near the door who look through you like you're made of glass. Volkov is 60 years old. Pale eyes, a scar along his jaw that he doesn't hide. He asks you 2 questions. Where are you from, and what do you want? You answer honestly. He nods once. He doesn't shake your hand. He leaves. Dmitri tells you later that went well. You don't understand what well means yet. Second rule, unspoken. When Volkov looks at you, you are already being tested. Level 3. The first lie you tell yourself. 6 months in, you're not an errand boy anymore. You're a watcher. Your job is simple. You sit in coffee shops, in lobbies, in parked cars. You note times, faces, vehicles. You send texts with coded language Dmitri taught you over 3 evenings. Nothing violent, nothing criminal on the surface, but you know what it's feeding. You start to notice things about yourself. You're calmer in confrontation. You read rooms differently. You trust almost no one now, and somehow that feels like intelligence rather than loneliness. The money is consistent, enough to move apartments, enough to send something home to your mother without explaining where it came from. And that's the moment, that exact moment, when you tell yourself the first lie. I'll do this for 1 more year, then I'm done. You've heard this lie before, in the voice of every man sitting in that restaurant, in Dmitri's eyes when he talks about his daughter's school fees. No one who says 1 more year
ever means it. Because by the end of that year, you won't want to leave. You'll be afraid to. Third rule, they don't trap you. You trap yourself. Level 4, blood adjacent. 9 months in, a phone call at 2 a.m. Dimitri's voice, flat, no greeting. There's a problem. We need you at the warehouse. You don't ask what kind of problem. The warehouse is in Red Hook. Loading dock, fluorescent lights, the smell of metal and cold air and something you don't name. There are 5 men there. 2 of them you recognize, 3 you don't. In the corner, a man is sitting in a chair. His hands are behind him. His face is already wrong. Nobody tells you his name. Nobody explains what he did. Dimitri hands you a phone, tells you to film. Not the man, not what happens to him. Just the door. Anyone who comes in or goes out. That's your job. Stand by the door, film the door. You stand there for 40 minutes. You don't look at the corner. When it's over, Dimitri takes your phone, deletes the footage, hands it back. On the drive home, he tells you the man stole money from people who trusted him. He says it like it should make you feel better. It doesn't. But here's what you notice. Your hands aren't shaking. And that scares you more than anything that happened in that warehouse. Fourth rule, the one nobody says out loud. The first time you stay in the room, you become part of the room. Level 5, money changes the body. 1 year in, you have $60,000 in cash hidden in 3 locations. You're not watching anymore. You're managing. You oversee 2 younger men. New faces, same story as yours. You give them tasks, you collect from them, you pass up to Dimitri, who passes up to people you've never met. You have a phone that you replace every 30 days, an apartment under a different name, a car registered to a company that doesn't exist, and you are comfortable. That's the poison, the comfort. You start eating at better restaurants. You buy your mother a new television and tell her it's a work bonus. You sleep well. The violence around you is controlled, surgical, invisible to anyone who's not looking. You tell yourself it's not like the movies. Nobody's getting killed every week. This is business. Cold, disciplined, quiet business. And you're good at it. Volkov calls you directly for the first time. He doesn't ask how you are. He says, you think clearly. That's rare. For 3 seconds, you feel something dangerously close to pride. 5th rule, pride is how they know you're ready for the next level. And the next level always costs something.
Level 6, the favor that isn't a favor. 14 months in, Volkov has a request. There's a man, a city councilman, who has become inconvenient. Not dangerous, inconvenient. He needs to be approached, not threatened, approached. Someone clean needs to do it, someone who doesn't look like what he is. Volkov looks at you. The job is simple. Have a conversation. In a bar, like 2 strangers. Plant information, leave. No weapons, no threats, nothing explicit. You do it. The councilman listens. He looks confused, then pale, then very still. You leave. 2 weeks later, a city contract worth millions is redirected. You receive an envelope with $30,000 and a note. The note just says, family. That word. You sit with it for a long time. Because family in this world doesn't mean warmth. It means obligation. It means they will call again. It means you have proven beyond any doubt that you can be trusted with things that ruin people. And you said yes. 6th rule. The moment they call you family, you are no longer a person. You are an asset. Level 7. Paranoia is the price of power. 16 months in, you don't sleep the same way anymore. You wake up at 4 a.m. and check the window, not because something happened, just because your brain has rewired itself. You eat alone. You trust no one completely. Not Dimitri, not the 2 men you manage, not the woman you've been seeing who doesn't know anything about your life. Because somewhere around level 6, you realized something. Everyone in this structure is watching everyone else. It isn't loyalty holding this together. It's mutual destruction. Everyone has something on everyone. The architecture of the entire thing is built on the guarantee that if one person falls, they take others with them. This is the design.
This is intentional, and Volkov sits at the center of it untouched because he made himself impossible to sacrifice. You start doing what every man at your level eventually does. You start building your own insurance. Small things, documents, dates, names, kept somewhere no one knows. You tell yourself it's protection. Seventh rule, the one they'll never forgive you for learning. Insurance only protects you until they find it. Level 8, the thing you cannot take back. 19 months in, one of the men you manage, the younger one, Alexei, has been skimming. Small amounts, careful, he thought no one would notice. Dmitri noticed. Dmitri tells you that you need to handle it, not because you're being punished, because you're being trusted. You bring Alexei to a parking garage in Queens, just the two of you. You don't hurt him, you don't have to. You show him a photograph of his brother, of the street his brother walks every morning. You say nothing else. Alexei returns every dollar with interest. He never skims again. He barely speaks again. And when you get home that night, you sit at your kitchen table for 2 hours without moving. You think about the version of yourself from 20 months ago. That person would not recognize you. That person would be terrified of you. And somewhere in the gap between who you were and who you are, you feel something you cannot name. It isn't guilt, it's distance. Like you're watching your own life through thick glass. Eighth rule, the one nobody survives ignoring. The moment you stop feeling it, you are lost, and you won't even notice it. Level 9, the walls close. 22 months in. The FBI has a name for the operation. You don't know this yet. What you know is that 2 men from a connected crew were arrested last week, and they're talking. The city feels different, quieter, like the space before a storm. Volkov goes dark for 10 days. No contact, no communication. Dmitri burns 3 phones, and then a message comes through a channel you've never used before. Stay home, don't move money, don't contact anyone. Wait. You wait. In your apartment, alone, with $68,000 in a bag under your bed and a phone that hasn't rung in 4 days, you do something you haven't done in almost 2 years. You think about leaving. Really leaving. Disappearing. Taking the money, getting in a car, driving to somewhere with a different name and a different life. You could do it. You almost believe that. But you know what happens to people who run. Not immediately, not loudly, quietly, months later, in a way that looks like an accident. Ninth rule, the final education. The only exit is the one they approve, and they never approve exits. Level 10, the cycle. 2 years in, the heat passes. 2 men took plea deals, 3 others got caught. The operation restructures, loses a layer here, adds a layer there. You survive. Not because you're lucky, because you were careful, because you stayed loyal when loyalty was being tested. Volkov resurfaces. He meets you in the same midtown room, same pale eyes, same scar. He pours 2 glasses of vodka. This time, he toasts. He tells you that a position has opened, a real position, real money, real authority, a seat at a table where decisions are made, not just carried out. He tells you this is what you've earned. And here's the moment, the real final level. Not a gunfight, not an arrest, not a dramatic fall down. Just a quiet room, a glass of vodka, and a man offering you more. And you realize this is the moment everyone before you has faced. Every man sitting above you sat in this chair. Every man who came before them sat in this chair. And they all said yes. Not because they were forced, because by the time you reach this chair, you don't know how to say anything else. The rules were never written down, because they didn't need to be. They were written inside you, slowly, level by level, choice by choice, until the person who walked in 2 years ago is gone, and someone else entirely picks up that glass. The final rule, the one that was true from the very beginning. The rules don't control you. You became the rules.